top seller in the UK, so it's very relevant, and the more people can educate themselves on that, the more they can pass on to the customer. So is that right, Deanna? Slenderiiz first?
Well, I think Slenderiiz was really all I planned on talking about. And, remember, I can talk about a whole hour just on one product if you give me the time.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do that. I'm going to press record right now. And I'm now going to share, just before we get to the Slenderiiz, Deanna, just kind of an overview, because there's some new people on there. A great question before we get to a specific product or brand. What is it that separates us from anything else in the industry? Talk about Arix and the quality and the compromise and that. Can you just elaborate on that before we get into the brand?
Sure. There was a lawsuit in the United States a couple of weeks ago. And we have these stores in the United States called GNC. And they are stores that sell protein supplements to bodybuilders and things like that. And the government went in and tested these and found that many of those supplements were exaggerating on the protein on the label. They were exaggerating their claims. I've spoken before. You've heard me talk about what New York State did, going out and testing supplements and finding that people were lying on their supplement labels to the point of not even having the ingredient that was supposed to be in the product. And so when I see this big scandal happen in the United States regarding protein powders and amino acid scores and things like that, I always get happy. Why does that make me happy? Because supposedly it can be bad for the industry. But it makes me happy because it further illustrates the difference between us and what's on the market today. Because I literally, in my garage, could make a protein powder, put it in a bag, and ship it over NFR and sell it to you in the UK. And there's very little regulation on that. And so the fact that we follow guidelines for our Slenderiiz, for our Jove even, we don't skimp anywhere on any of those. Slenderiiz and Jove and Nutrify, that we follow the guidelines that are over-the-counter drug regulation guidelines, and that we have the licensing to do that, which means that our Jove facility, we can make cosmetic drugs, like drugs that there's tons of them, right? In Nutrify, we can make over-the-counter drugs. We have those licenses which require us to follow those guidelines, and those guidelines are very specific on how you talk about the label and what's in the label and the variants it gives you. And if we don't follow those guidelines, if our testing doesn't come out accurate, we lose our license. So when I see these types of things happen, it always makes me happy, because I have all the documents and the proof to show that no, we meet over-the-counter drug registration laws and guidelines, and our products are what they say they are, so people get their value. One other thing that makes us very different from other people in the market, I know this for a fact, is that a lot of companies like to take great ingredients, okay? And they fairy dust them in, just put a little in about it so they can then talk about it. What we do that's very different is we gather all the research and we say, okay, at what level in the clinical data do you see results? Well, that's where we formulate to, and that's why, the foundation of this business has to be that products work and that people get results. And for us to ensure that people are going to get results all over the world, then we need to make sure that we're formulating at the right clinical doses. And, those are, I guess I would say, those are probably the biggest things. A lot of supplement companies don't even talk about these issues, because if they were to talk about those issues, then they have to hold themselves accountable. And they have to make sure that they're not doing anything on their labels that isn't accurate. I like to pull back the curtains and say, look at all the bull crap that happens in the industry. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it because it's real and it gives our industry a bad name. And let's talk about what we're doing to make sure that we are not like them. And I think not many people do that. Find me another company that does that. I haven't found them.
Yeah, exactly. I remember actually at one of our UK events when you started to call other companies out, and I was like, Deanna, no, I said name these companies, but you were like, hey, if I see it, I'm going to call it. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, and I'm not shy about that because I here's the thing, it's all about integrity and truth, right? So even if I love a company, but I found out that that company lies on their label, well, I'm not exaggerating, I'm only speaking facts. So as long as I'm always factual, I don't care that I tell you that X, Y, and Z is lying on their label because they think it's factual and people deserve to know. You know, why do I shop at the farmer's market yesterday? Why do I talk to the lady who grows the friggin' tomatoes? How do you do it? What do you use to fertilize your ground? Because I want to know where my things come from. Well, you deserve that as well. And so if you're out there buying a product from one of our competitors, whether it be, you know, New Skin or Usana or any of these, even your old competitor Juice Plus, if they're lying on their labels, you deserve to know. And I think, hey, you know, if I lie on my label, someone should tell on me too. I'm just not gonna.
Perfect. Thank you for the explanation. So let me get this presentation up, Deanna, so we can start with the. Let me know that.
Can't see your screen quite yet. I think it's probably because of your slow internet.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now?
Yeah, but you don't have my first slide. That's weird.
Okay. Let me see if we can go back.
Huh. Maybe I didn't send you the right one, and so then now you don't have the ones that have the photos that I'm starting with. Let me do this. James, I am going to resend it to you right now, and then I'll start with a story that doesn't need my slides. Is that okay?
The only problem with this, the internet connection is slow. By the time you send it to me, and by the time I download it, it's going to have to be a long story. Can we work with what we've got?
Can you have me share my screen? Is there any way?
Yeah, Deanna should be able to share her screen, mate.
Not sure. Go on, try it, Deanna.
Okay.
Tell her how it's done, Darren.
Oh, here, I see the button.
Just down. Yeah.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that worked. You see that okay?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's, I'm going to start with a story because I don't want to misrepresent my feelings about facts. Because I think you guys, there's so many people in the UK that I think have such perfectly sculpted bodies that it's a hard thing to live up to. So I want to start out the webinar by first explaining that I was an 11-year bulimic and I was 65 pounds heavier than I am now. And I suffered from weight issues all my life. And once I got that pretty much under control, I noticed that I had judgment. When I would see obese people, I had judgment about them. Like, why are they so overweight? Why are they, 200-300 pounds, 400-pound people? Like, what is wrong with them? And when I was speaking in colleges, I had a host. And I used to go to this college every year. And about my 4th year going, we went to dinner, and she was probably about 250 pounds overweight. And we went to dinner, we sat down to dinner, and she became a friend of mine. And I looked at her, and her name was Azure D, and I said, listen, why are you so overweight? Because she's heard me speak, she knew I would help her, but nothing had ever changed. And I learned something that day about my judgments. And what I learned was she was a sexual abuse survivor of the worst type. She was actually put in like a child sex ring. And I realized that so many people, and when you look at the research now, it's very, very high. If you've suffered any type of sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, divorced parents, poverty, all these things, that research shows that those individuals are much more likely to be obese. And when Azure looked at me, she says, yeah, I decided to gain weight and get really fat, because what happened was sexual advances when I got older and I was out of this abuse cycle was so uncomfortable to me that by being really fat and overweight, I avoided those advances. So I start with this story that's kind of a downer because I want us all to be reminded today to withhold judgment anytime we see people who choose to be overweight or who do not have, the abs of a Rick Curry. That we all have different bodies, different emotional spaces, different places and where we're at, and sometimes it comes with a lot of baggage we're not even aware of. So as we go in to talk about weight loss, I am here to say we've all got different bodies. We all look different. This isn't a beauty contest. This isn't, a friggin', I don't want you to look like runway models. This is about living longer, feeling better, and having the energy and the body for you to be able to do what you want to do. So I want to make sure that's clear as we move forward. And what I'd like to do is move on to another story. I have you meet Connie. Okay, this is Connie. Now, Connie came from another company with junky products, and she came to Utah to meet all of us with some of her team. She was a leader in the other company. Connie's really interesting because Connie's parents owned weight loss clinics all over the United States. They were like weight loss experts. And Connie's done all this dieting. She knows the information, but look at Connie. Was she successful? No. And she was just resolved in knowing nothing had ever worked for her. And I remember when Connie came up to Utah, she said to me, she was so like this, she came from a company where she sold services and other things. And she goes, I'm never going to sell Slenderiiz. She had a bit of an attitude on the Slenderiiz system. My family in weight loss clinics, I know everything there is to know. It doesn't work for me. My hormones are messed up. My blood sugars are messed up. Nothing ever works. And I said, okay, but maybe you just want to try it just to see, because what we're doing is so different. It answers all the other problems to see if it happens to work for you. And she kind of brushed me off. She didn't want to do it. We talked one more time, and then she said, okay, I'll try it. And now Connie's one of our biggest advocates ever. Here's Connie. And yeah, Connie isn't where she wants to be yet, but I really want you to know this is a woman whose family owned weight loss clinics, who had tried everything and it did not work for them. And that is the theme of my time with you today, my webinar, is what makes our system different than everybody else. And I think with that comes from some understanding of what creates bad health. You should have a basic level of understanding. And I talk about this a lot because I want to really impress this upon you all. It doesn't just happen overnight. We gain weight because we're stressed out. We gain weight because we don't sleep well. We can gain weight because of pharmaceutical drugs. We can gain weight because of environmental pollution. We can gain weight because of the crap you clean your house with. And we can gain weight because of bad food. And so there's all these things that contribute to the downfall of our health. Yeah. And a part of ARC's mission is to help people understand the whole picture. Because understanding the whole picture, you're empowered to make lots of changes. And I have to tell you, I know there's a lot of young parents on this webinar. I mean, just you, Darren, and James, you both have kids, right? One of the best things you can teach and instill in your children. I grew up with an Italian family that said there's starving people all over the world. You must eat everything off of your plate, even if I was hungry or not. And with every good grades, or with every, good sporting event, whatever it was, we celebrated with food, right? Food was always the reward. Remember this. Do not reward yourself with food. You're not a dog. And the more you can remind your children, if your children do something great, reward them with a new book or a movie. Like, change what we do in society, because we're creating emotional imprints in our children that, I just did a good thing, I deserve cake. Oh, you got good grades? Oh, I'll take you for ice cream. And we all do it because we were raised like that. So the more that you can remind yourself and, you know, your partners in parenting that if we can break that emotional connection with food, the next generation is going to be healthier and healthier. So nobody in here, you know, has dogs as children. Well, maybe some people do. But, you know, do your best to remind yourself, think of other rewards that take your time and energy and not are sugar-based for accomplishments with your children. As far as numbers goes, it's crazy. This is just U.S. numbers. I looked up UK right before I came on, and they're almost identical. 30% of people trying to lose weight, 30% of people trying to prevent gaining it back. And here in the United States, we spend almost $30 billion a year. Holy crap, that's a lot of customers, right? And like Connie, I showed you before, and even like myself, what happens? These people go on programs, they lose the weight, and they gain it all back, and it's a very vicious cycle because the majority of people who even buy Slenderiiz from us, this isn't their first rodeo, right? They've been on like 15 other rodeos, and they're, you know, and they're jumping on this one now, but they're finally on one that answers all the problems. And what are the problems? Why are people getting overweight? Lack of exercise, artificial sugars and flavors, pharmaceutical drugs, you know, leptin resistance, which is a hormonal imbalance, lack of sleep, blood sugars, metabolic disorders, nutrient deficiencies. I mean, it goes on and on, right? And what is not mentioned on this slide, but I mentioned in the story initially, emotional and physical abuse plays a role as well. A big role, actually, especially if people are significantly obese and overweight. And so when you look at the fact that all these things play a role on why someone is overweight or unhealthy, when we design this system, because I fell into that lifestyle, we need to design a system that really looked at it all and then had solutions to support the body in all these ways. So when you look at our solutions, and when you look at the system, and this doesn't even include the Nutrify line and other things that go along with this, but when you look at it, we have got support for digestion. We have support to help the body deal with environmental toxins, because most people don't understand that if you drink water out of plastic water bottles all day, you could be hampering your weight loss efforts because of what it does to your hormones. So we have support for toxins, dealing with environmental toxins. You know, most people don't know that if you're stressed and you're a woman, oh, damn it, our bodies are releasing hormones as women that store fat on our bellies when we're stressed. I mean, who thought of that? It's really a bummer, but that's what happens. And so we have to do something to support our stress levels. And do you know if you don't sleep, you've screwed up your hormones, and the signaling between leptin and ghrelin are all messed up. And then what happens is your hunger signals are messed up, and you end up gaining more weight. And if your blood sugars are off, you know, you gain more weight. And so we created a system that deals with all these issues. We have something to help people detox. We have, you know, ingredients to help with appetite control. We have a system with our Pure Nourish snacks and boosts that help with blood sugar support just after using it one time. You know, and we teach people with the information that, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get the results. And we get results everywhere. Korea and Japan and Europe and Mexico and Canada and the United States. And the fact that we're getting results with the hardest category, which is 40 to 60-year-old women with thyroid issues, is unbelievable. Because I've never found a system that gets results with that category. And I believe we're getting those results because we recognize people get fat because of these reasons. And in recognizing that we really don't want repeat customers, that's not what we're looking for. You know, you get somebody to get the body that they're comfortable in, something that they feel good about, well, then they can move on to Nutrify for the rest of their life for their health insurance. That's real health insurance, folks, because health insurance in my book that we have today is sick care. You know, we offer prevention, which in my book is health insurance, true health insurance. So the fact that we look at all of these things, and that we offer support and solutions in these categories. We're changing people's insides in a way where they see all types of health benefits. We try to tell people, whoa, be careful what you say, you're making too many claims. But the program is sexy because people get results in a very timely manner, and it's also really simple to follow. So that's the sex appeal of it. Everybody wanting to lose weight wants results, to show up right away. And we have that, but we also are kind of backdooring all these things that is a bit of my mission in life. Is helping people at the cellular level, helping their blood sugars, helping all these other things that give them more life, that go along with my favorite quote, which is, I want to die young at a very old age. I want to die old. Wait a second. Damn it, I can't even get it straight. It's my favorite quote, and I'm not remembering it. I want to die young at a very old age. There it is. I got it right. I want to feel good. I was talking to my neighbor last night, and his dad is 90 years old, and he dances 5 times a week. That, to me, is what it's about. It's not about having the perfect sculpted body. It's about waking up and feeling great. And if we can offer the sex appeal of a program that gives people results like that, but then backdoors all this incredible other health benefits, we've done our job. And the system doesn't, it includes the Slenderiiz system, but then we have all these wonderful supportive products within Nutrify that give the body other results. Now, I want to show you someone else has had really actually remarkable results on the product. And this guy, the doctor said, you're gonna die. Okay, he literally said, you're going to die. He was on thousands of dollars worth of prescription medications every single month. He had tried everything and then reached out to us. And yet again, the results. And he had a really tough life, this guy. You want to talk about abuse in his life and, what brought him to this space, of where he put on all this weight. But, he's a huge transformation. And a transformation in a way where not only did he see the results, but everything in his life changed. The way he looked at his food, the emotional relationship with food, all those things came in play. And I know I've showed you people so far who have they've tipped the scale into the obese category. But here's what makes our program really super unique, is that not only does it work for folks who are in the obese category, people who are in the 40, 50 pounds overweight category, but it works for people who are in the 10-pound overweight category. And that's where I also think we have such a unique system, because I don't know anything else that is that broad in its reach. And I'd like you to meet one of our leaders from Canada, super nice guy, and he had tried a lot of things as well and wasn't feeling good about his body, and went on to the program, lost the weight, then started exercising in a way he had never had before, and look at the results. And so not only do we reach the hardest category, which is older women with thyroid issues, can they see results? But we've got a guy, sorry.
Tiene muertos que hay
We've got a guy
like
like this from Canada that, didn't have that much weight to lose. And he saw significant results. And when he talks about it now, he almost tears up just because of what it did for his life. And here's an interesting thing. In the United States, we have 3 really large weight loss competitors. And it is a little bit of a kind of regulations our government likes to see. How much does it cost per pound to lose the weight? So we did like an analysis. We looked in the U.S. at the 3 biggest companies on how much it costs to be in their program and to lose weight. And what's so interesting, in their estimated price per pound loss, when you look at their actual data, Weight Watchers was $97 a pound, Nutrisystem was $139 a pound, Jenny Craig was $174 a pound. Ours when you look at the data on when people lose weight and what amount of time it takes for them to change their body, their metabolism, their, to get where they want to be. And what's interesting about this, and I bring this up as well, is not only do we have a completely well-rounded system that deals with all types of factors, including environmental toxins, which I'm telling you, find me someone else who does that. I do not believe they exist, and if they're doing it, they've copied me. Because I have never found it before. Most, MLMs come under criticism. The products that are within this model are overpriced. So we've got a program that works full scale. The guy who's got 10 pounds to lose, his already looks pretty good. Feel your beast person. We have a program that teaches a new lifestyle, but it's sexy because people get results in a very timely manner. And we have a program that costs less than the biggest 3 retailers of weight loss in the United States. So, I put a challenge out there. Find something else that's better, put them on Skype with me, I'll debate them. And I guess I really should qualify that I debated in college and I taught it, so I'd probably win. But I'm just mentioning that, find something. And so when anybody criticizes this program, if they ever do, it's because they're emotionally not ready to get healthy. If someone turns you down, it's because they're emotionally not ready to change their lifestyle. If it's too hard of a sell, it's because they're emotionally not ready. And you can never force someone into getting ready to take back their health. You can give them the information, you can be loving, you can act without judgment, and then if they're ready for it, they'll do it. And here's the interesting thing. Sometimes we get really caught up and we want to talk about every ingredient and all those sorts of things. Most people don't care about that. Most overweight people who are desperate for a program would put poison under their tongue if they thought it was going to lose weight. I mean, look what people do. They go into the doctor, they get a metal stick stuck under their skin that creates really harsh, really awful turmoil in the body to get liposuction, to get fat out. People are desperately desperate things to lose weight. So all you need to do is show people that our system is economical. And here's another piece of information that most people don't know. That when in our clinical trial, when they went on the weight loss product, the average person was saving about over $100 a month in their food bill because they stopped eating all the refined sugars and carbs. So just the money they were saving on food equaled the cost of the program.
Rämedalt tuult ja siis oli veel lihtsalt ilma tuuleta tuli ka laine vastu, kuna lihtsalt meri tõusis. Metsa ääres.
And it's in a system that's really simple.
Yeah.
And that was a very long tangent without letting
me magasime 5 magasime ühes telgis.
Going?
I think you're cutting out just a little bit, and I guess I will. For me, I'll end this section on Slenderiiz by telling you something. For 11 years of my life, I talked about. I would write in my journals about my hell associated with food. I used those words as a kid. My hell, my secret. When I ate, I felt guilty. And when I was stressed, I crawled into a bag of chips and donuts. And I had a really toxic emotional relationship with food that led to a body that was unhealthy. And I guess I would end this section by saying, for those of you who are going out and offering these products as solutions for people, be kind, be non-judgmental, and realize that what you have in your hands is such a beautiful grouping of products that can make such a lifelong difference in somebody's health and well-being. You can change their body chemistry from the inside out, helping them live longer. Helping them have a better relationship with their children. helping them feel better when they wake up and they get out of bed. You know, I remember there was a woman involved in a clinical study, and we almost didn't let her into the study because she was so severely depressed, and she was on so many pharmaceutical medicines that she was a risk, a real big risk for us. You know, when you take somebody on so many drugs, and she slept most of her day away on the couch, and she begged to get in. She said she had prayed to God, and God told her that she needed to be in this clinical study. And so we talked it over. We said, all right, let's let her in, even though she's such a risk and on so many drugs. And just the combination of Slenderiiz and Rejuvenex in the optimal
Jonni, kerro minä
this woman in a matter of weeks spending the majority of her time laying on a couch to outside mowing her lawn. And then starting to go on walks. And not only did she lose the weight, but I have to tell you, that was secondary to then what she attributes the program for doing for her life. Those are the stories I want you to remember. Not just the perfect body and the perfect bikini and the perfect dress, but by sharing this, you have the opportunity to give people more life. And that, my friends, I mean, I don't know if it's when it comes to business, not only do we have a business that can financially reward you, but a business that can reward the people you love and the people they love with real health insurance. And that's really truly what it's all about. And now, you know, I'll turn it back over, Darren. I'm not sure if you have the questions or if James does. We can answer some questions people might have.
I think James is on, Deanna. He just has his video off, so if he can speak and you can hear him, he can ask the questions. If not, I will.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear Deanna?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone into just to get a bit more specific. Not so much ingredients, but you know, the industries have been now for calories in, calories out. More detail that because we've got new people on the call with Slenderiiz can help people with hormonal issues and things like that. Give it a little bit more meat on that for those guys. Why different from anything?
Sure. I forgot most of that, but I think I know what you're asking. So let me be very specific. So in our line, we have a product called Restorex, okay? Restorex is designed to deal with environmental toxins because there is now proof that environmental toxins in the form.
And I'm telling you guys, it's real. I don't know if you remember, James, but when I was there last time, there was like a stay indoor warning, toxic cloud coming over the UK. You remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume he does. Yes, he remembers that. And so these things are real. And science now shows that these chemicals in plastic water bottles, all gases, things in our home. You know, James, you have a brand new home. You should be running that air filter. You should probably have two running full time, never off in your home to deal with the off gassing from new construction. That all those things not only contribute to other health issues, but they also affect your weight. Restorex is a product designed to deal with those environmental toxins, designed to be taken every day. When people hit plateaus in their weight loss, they don't understand why. And there's lots of reasons. Well, environmental toxins can be one of them. And so it's why we see so much success on this program, because we have Restorex involved from anyone who has over 10 to 15 pounds to lose. I want you to think of your fat as a suitcase. And so if your fat is a suitcase, and you start to lose that fat, you're opening up that suitcase. And when you open up that suitcase, what happens is all those toxins that are stored in your fat flood into your bloodstream. And they can then stop or kind of plateau you on your weight loss. So we have Restorex in our Nutrify line that supports people in that way. With your drops within the Slenderiiz system, there's two drops. Drops that are designed to be taken with food, and then drops that are designed to be taken at night. And the drops designed to be taken at night are designed for your stress and your sleep. Because we now know, and if you look at the data, it's undeniable. If you are a bad sleeper, you are dramatically hindered in weight loss. And you are more likely to gain a lot of fat. And if you're stressed out, you are messing up your hormones. So the drops designed to be taken at night, they are designed to help you with those things, to help you have restful sleep, to help you have less stress, because we know those play a critical role. We also know within creating the Pure Nourish system that there is probiotics and prebiotics and enzymes, because digestion is key. And many of you heard when I was over there before, that one doctor, who I admire, who said, Deanna, you aren't what you eat, you are what you don't shit. I thought, what, that is true. And digestive disorders are such an issue with people all over the world that we need to offer that support. So we offer that support in the form of enzymes and probiotics and prebiotics. We offer that support in a system that has a low glycemic rating, which means it has been tested and verified to be low glycemic, which helps control your blood sugars. And we offer ingredients that help with appetite control, because that can help with sometimes the mental challenges. So many times people eat without ever thinking, and we want to break that habit. Now, as far as calories in, calories out, you will notice on this program that we give you a calorie target. I am not a fan of calorie counting. We give you the calorie target so that then people can start to understand that all calories are not the same. And the old adage of calories in, calories out is not accurate. Because if you eat highly refined foods that are low in calories, you spike your blood sugars, you affect your hormones, you can affect your digestive system. So even though you have a lower calorie diet, if you're eating the wrong type of foods, you can still be unsuccessful in weight loss. So we give a calorie target in the program just to help people understand that they can eat an enormous amount of food if they eat the right food. So it's as a training tool. And there's a lot of confusion out there, There's the whole fat-free craze. Fat, if you want to be stupid and stay fat, eat no fat. Because your brain is made up of fat. And so people went on fat-free crazes, low-calorie, high-carbohydrate, refined food crazes, and they couldn't understand why it was messing with their neurological system, and they were actually gaining weight. And it's because they were messing up their entire body metabolism and hormones. And so even though we have a calorie mark, we also tell you eat from this approved list. And really the truth of the matter is if you eat from the approved foods, you don't really have to count your calories, but we want to use that as a teaching tool. I hope that explains more.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I don't know if James is still there, but he's just sent me some of the questions. I think a question that some people may have is they sometimes come up with price objections for Slenderiiz. And I think for us inside of Arix, what would you say to people that are coming up with price objections for Slenderiiz? And then also the long-term effect of buying cheap if they buy cheaper products.
I love that question. And what we need to do, Darren, is we need to find out in your guys' countries who are the biggest weight loss giants there. And somewhere they are reporting how much fat loss that they have. If anybody on the call today wants to grab that data from me, I'll send you like a super great present, okay? And so if you want to grab that data and tell me what are the public pound per dollar spent, loss per dollar spent, I promise you price objections are not easy. They're just, if someone comes up to me with a price objection, first it depends what kind of mood I'm in on how I answer, okay? If they aren't really obese and I don't think they have emotional problems with food, my answer would probably be more crappy. It'd be a little bit more like, yeah, all right, you feel happy with the way you are, you want to live in that body, whatever, enjoy yourself. Because the reality is, it is expensive to be sick. And if you are too overweight, it's expensive to be sick. Because people who are really overweight suffer from all types of other health problems. And they don't feel good. And all those things cause health issues. And so when people come up with price objections. That's why I made that chart for the United States to show them, like, guys, we are really the less expensive option in the United States. We are. And if someone has a price objection, it's because they have not experienced enough pain with their body and they're not ready. And if you can think of a loving, kind way to express that and realize you just move on and don't try to convince them, most of the time, if you say, that's fine, I have a solution I know that works, I have a solution that would change your life, and if you don't believe you're worth this much, then it's not for you. And then here's the other benefit. With just the money they're going to save in groceries alone, and we have the data on that, it doesn't cost as much because of what they save and the money spent, in groceries. And then sometimes I'll look at them if they're young and they like to party. I say, how many drinks do you go out and buy in the bar on the weekend? What do you spend? And I know there's a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, who spend a boatload on drinks and say, oh, so you're worth enough to spend money on alcohol that toxifies your body, strips you of all types of nutrients, but you're not worth enough for a weight loss system that can give you more life. Okay.
Perfect. And I think the next question, Deanna, would just be, if someone was taking this Slenderiiz program and if price was an objection for them, what would be the best product that they can take alongside the Slenderiiz program for the best benefit, best results?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really going to depend on who your person is, okay? And so if I'm going to break it up into several categories. So let's say it's a 20 to 30-year-old category who doesn't have that much weight to lose. Then what I would put them on is the Slenderiiz system, and I would put them on, in order, Slenderiiz system, Optimals, and Rejuvenate. The next category, 35 to probably 45, women, I would put them on Slenderiiz, the Optimals, Omega Q. If somebody has over 15, 20 pounds to lose, and they hit any plateaus, they need to be introduced to RestoreX. The fats and Omega Qs are really important for women because women's body were designed to breastfeed babies, right? So women's bodies like to hold on to fat. So if you don't eat enough fat in your diet as a woman, then your body's going to store it all as fat as a protection method. So by taking good fats like an Omega Q, by having coconut oil in your diet, those sorts of things, that will help women in that category. Pure Nourish is really great for anybody who has blood sugar issues and who wants something simple that they can trust in. For people who are on the go and who are moving fast, right? You need to grab something and go out in the morning, because if you aren't having something for breakfast, and statistics show this, your weight loss efforts are going to be dramatically less. You've got to have something in the morning, because if you go more than 4 or 5 hours without food, you send a signal from your brain to your body that you could be starving to death, and no matter what you eat, it stores as fat. So morning plays an important role, and so many people are busy and they're working, they have kids. So Pure Nourish that really shouldn't even be a price objection, because it's just a replacement on what they're eating anyway. It's like a replacement grocery item. But it gives them the confidence in knowing that there's something that we've already tested, proven, low glycemic, and it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Just a quick side question. Just you mentioned about Omega Q, because obviously with women breastfeeding, and I know Lisa will probably want the answer to this question, along with maybe many of the women on the call that have either pregnant, have had babies, or know people that have had babies recently. What's your take on them doing the Slenderiiz program whilst breastfeeding if they don't have a calorie reduction?
Yeah, that's a great question. All right. First of all, I am never an advocate for women going on a weight loss program as they're breastfeeding. Because to be honest with you, breastfeeding is your weight loss program. If you eat clean, if you just follow the foods in the Slenderiiz booklet, you take the optimals, which are great to take during breastfeeding. You take MOA, you can take Omega Q, you can take Pure Nourish, you can take Magna-Cal D. You take those products while you're breastfeeding and you eat healthy. That is God's gift to women as your own internal weight loss program. Because your body expends so much energy to produce breast milk that you burn way more calories. So I know this isn't good for business, guys, but don't sell Slenderiiz system to breastfeeding moms. They've already got a better system. They just need to follow the foods and take the Nutrify line.
Okay, perfect. And just what was the other question James had? On just moving on to Jove just quickly, James just wanted to know, is the Jove range going to expand at any time in the near future, or is it not because it's already multifunctional?
That James, he always likes to ask questions about what's coming and he shouldn't. Hey, listen, we are always in R&D expanding things, and there are a few holes in the Jove line. The Jove is very multifunctional. I mean, just the dark spot corrector, brightening cream, replaces your serums and your moisturizer, your day cream, and, it really is such a beautiful multifunctioning product. However, with that being said, we recognize there is some holes within that line, specifically in the categories of cleansers. So we are in the R&D process and working on those very diligently. You'd have to, I don't know, you'd have to torture me a little bit to give any dates.
Well, don't shoot the messenger on the next question. So he's asked me to ask, is there anything exciting coming that you can share with us now?
Yeah, James. Hey, I'm going to share something with you that's coming out in a press release in a week. So I'm going to tell you guys first. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway. Why not? Who cares? You guys are one of my favorites. And so I'm going to tell you. We are constantly looking for ways to improve our products. I want you all to know. And as you know, we use some really exciting ingredients in MOA. And bergamot is one of those ingredients in MOA that is designed to help with LDL cholesterol, and it's in there at a clinical dose. Well, we've just increased the efficacy of that bergamot through a better extraction process, and it's 28% more effective without any price increase. And so a press release is coming out in about a week on that, but it's just an example of what we do as a company, right? And we're always out to improve what we have. Too many companies stay stagnant with their products, which means they never change. They never upgrade. We have a lot of exciting things in the pipeline. If I was to give you specific numbers, R&D is working, geez Louise, probably on 6 things that are really fun and exciting. And as always, I think they will get really big enthusiasm from the field when they come out.
And do you think between, can we expect any introduction of new products between now and the end of 2016?
Oh, don't you guys like to push for dates? So here's my problem, Darren and James, because I know you're listening, is R&D process for us is very slow because we push people to do things that haven't been done. And Tom Jackson and myself, we push our formulators, our chemists, to do things outside of their comfort zone. And they literally tell us, I cannot tell you how many times in my life with RX, they just said, it cannot be done. And we say, bull crap, figure out a way to get it done. And then we figure out a way to get it done. And with that comes a very long, arduous process. So don't get dates anymore, because what we're doing now, whenever we launch something new, is we're coming out with the clinical study ahead of time as it launches. We're making sure that it has been well vetted and has all of the good and none of the bad. And we're making sure it really works. And because of that, until I know that all those things are done, it's very difficult for me to give out dates. We have targets, but I can't give out any dates yet until I know a little bit closer because, remember, Fred Cooper, I love him, our CEO, told the Netherlands it would take me 3 months to make Moa, and it took me a year and almost a half. No, until I get closer to something, mum's the word. I can't say anything.
So we'll just keep our hopes up. So just two questions I think James had just before we close. One would be, if someone was wanting to build a sustainable business just on one product, i.e. say Moa, what would be your top tip for getting residual customers or preferred customers on Moa?
Here's the thing. When I came on board, I had one promise to myself. That the products would work. And that we would never be one of those companies that had expensive products with exaggerated claims. Just the background I came from, it was so out of integrity for me and my partners. And so here's the good news. I remember when Moa went on back order in the Netherlands before your whole group had joined us, and we were out for quite a while. Oh, geez. It was probably about 4 weeks. We had customers offering €100 for a bottle of Moa. Now, why did that happen? Because people were getting results. So when you go to someone and you introduce Moa and they see results in their skin, in their digestive system, in their energy level, and they see those results, you're never going to have to spend time keeping them on the product. They'll be on the product. So your job really is convincing them why they should take the product. And you have to remember something. My experience with selling, before I became into RX, I sold myself for 17 years. I was a professional speaker. So I would sell myself to a client. And I was a big ticket item, right? Someone that had to spend $10,000 to get me. And I was selling myself. And I realized something happened. That when I lost, I truly felt like I had no attachment to whether I got that sale or not. But I was speaking authentically because I believed in what I was doing, because I was passionate about what I was doing, and so I was authentic. And I had no attachment to whether you bought me or not, Darren. Zero attachment. My sales went through the roof. To the point I had more speaking gigs than I could handle. And I guess my biggest tip to you would be know the product, feel it passionately. You don't have to be a doctor. But if you and I are in a room together and we're around 8 people, we're talking about something and I've experienced it, I've seen what it does for me. Nobody can argue with my truth. And if I don't come across as desperate, but I'm coming across as confident because I have no attachment to whether you buy it or not, that's sexy, that sells, and people can feel it and they want it.
Yeah, but I think exactly what you're saying is so true, Deanna, because the main thing I foresee with people inside of, not only RX, but every industry or every company inside the industry is that the reason a lot of people will fail or not succeed is purely because they don't take enough products to see benefits, because they have a minimum mentality where they have to say, what's the minimum I need to do to maintain active status? So they never take enough products to truly see the benefits, but had they have done that, they would have seen the benefits and created a business anyway.
If you try to get me to go out and sell, I don't know, tires, I would probably suck because I'm just not passionate about it. Unless, of course, I bought those tires and I had saved me from sliding across the snow and ice on the road, and I thought these are the best damn tires in the world. And I'd use them myself. And so, why can I sell somebody on the dentist I use? Because I believe in him. And when I talk about it, I speak from passion and truth. And that comes across in your communication. And you're right, Darren. Are you going to sell Moa if you have never used it? How authentic are you going to be?
Definitely. One last question, Deanna, just before we finish up, which James had. Any top tips on the products that we spoke about tonight, be it Slenderiiz or MOA?
What do you mean top tips?
He just asked, had you any top tips on the products, on how to obtain customers? So what would be your top tip in order for people to obtain customers for, say, Slenderiiz or Nourish?
Yeah, I think my biggest tip for Slenderiiz is learning how to articulate the difference. And if you don't have a weight loss story, borrow someone else's. Okay? And if you're going to borrow someone else's, take them to lunch, take them to coffee, sit with them, hear it firsthand about their story, feel their energy about it so you can communicate it. And so even if you are a thin person who decides to come in this business and you don't have the need to take Slenderiiz, you can still speak authentically about it because you can go out and borrow someone else's story. And if you've actually talked with that person, I can talk about James authentically because I know him. I coached him through that when he lost all that weight. I can talk about Connie authentically because she sat with me and argued with me that this wasn't going to work. Nothing did, right? So if I hadn't experienced them firsthand, it'd be harder. So I guess my top tip would be for those over there who don't have a story of themselves, find someone who does. Put someone who needs it on the program for free if that means you get their story. And coach them through it. Say, listen, let me buy it for you. Think of it as marketing expense. And you can even make a deal. If it works for you, then pay me back. But the deal is I can use your photos and I can talk about your story. And keep in contact with them every week. How's it going? How's it doing? And make up the story that you can authentically tell when you talk to people if you don't have it yourself. And if you are overweight and you need a story yourself, go on the program. You can speak authentically. Nobody can argue with Connie, the woman I showed you in the beginning.
Yeah.
Connie will just look at you and go, I'm sorry, you don't know what you're talking about. I've done all the diets on the planet and my parents owned weight loss clinics. I still couldn't lose the weight, and this did it. And she's selling to customers like crazy because she's confident.
Well, and I think that's the difference is someone that has been there, or as you said, has a first-hand story, speaks with belief and speaks with confidence. I don't know if James has anything else to add before we finish out. I know he's obviously still on the call. I don't know if his audio is working, but James, do you want to close out the call, or have you got anything to add?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's a start. I feel like I've been on the outside. I don't know how we got through that call, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Deanna. I mean, I learned a lesson there. Maybe for any of the calls this week, but huge value as always. And the reassurance for me, and it should be for everyone else, is that there is no price when it comes to quality, because if people have a price objection, then you fail to display or fail to explain the quality of these products, get results every single time, finest ingredients, and that was one of the main reasons why I chose this company. I think sometimes people look for cheap, but when you buy cheap, you buy it twice, or there are other implications. So on behalf of everyone in the UK, Deanna, thank you for producing phenomenal products. Thank you for the phenomenal brands, and thank you for continuing to broaden those ranges and bring us excitement in the future.
And thank you everybody over there. You guys are one of our fastest growing markets in the entire world. For believing in our products, going out and talking about the products, sharing them with people, because you're really making a difference in people's lives.
Perfect. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you for stepping in and saving the day and asking the questions and thinking on your feet. And I appreciate everyone on all taking the time out. I know you've got huge value as always. For everyone, have a phenomenal week wherever you are, and I'll chat to you all soon. Thank you, Deanna. Bye.